Hey guys, Joshua Peterson here, Peterson Electric. It is almost Valentine's 2024 for my SEO guy. This is going to be about preparing to do your basement. So there's a lot of detail I did on this basement with wiring and lighting. Things that I want you to think about before you go and call us. That way it's kind of pre-discussed, it'll help you out. In general, for this basement, it's about 1,200 square foot. It doesn't look large, but it is larger than you think. But it did have a lot of detail on circuits and whatnot. So when you do a kitchenette, you do have to plan for at least 3 to 4 circuits, depending on how big that is. A wet bar is different than a kitchenette. Kitchenette will be like disposal and dishwasher and a couple appliance plugs, plus the fact that you might have a microwave. And then you might be planning also on a heater for the basement and a jetted tub. So we'll be talking about that jetted tub and all that as well. Also just a pine ceiling like this. They didn't tell us they were going to do that. So that changed. And guess what? The ceiling fan box was this much taller. So luckily they got a mink air, like I said, and had a little wider bracket. We drilled the bracket and lagged 4 lags per bracket to get those fans not to wobble. Because when you put a pine ceiling, it pushes it down about almost 5/8 inch. So that made it harder for us to mount because you have to be flush so it doesn't wobble. Now, if you go with a ceiling hugger, it's easier to lag, definitely, than these little rods right here. But it did turn out. So anyways, let's walk through it real quick. Lighting on this, you would think these were upside down. But actually, Williams-Sonoma, these are outdoor rated fixtures. Okay. So went ahead and gave them a switch on that. Fireplace right here. Most of the time, fireplaces are done with an igniter switch now. But we did go ahead and put it in, and he went ahead and wired it up for us. So I did pre-plan, though. They said, oh, you don't need to worry about that. I do not listen to them, because what if they change their mind and you don't have it? You're blocking the video. Okay guys, so over here, yeah, we're just planned out. If you're gonna have any kind of exercise equipment, there's a dedicated circuit to that area, maybe 3 outlets just in case you move it. But if you're doing like a NordiTrack or some kind of treadmill, you better dedicate that. Also right here guys, this is our bar that we had. They did not tell us, nor the customer, that they were building this out. We thought this was going to be right up next to it, and they actually told us a shelf for a microwave. And look, we had to cut this out. He already cut it out, the guy that did the work, but we put a square on it, cut it out. But you have to access this outlet. They were going to put a microwave and plug it in, but now it's not deep enough. So whether they put a toaster, I don't think a toaster's wise here. We did do an under cabinet light under here. Okay. And then this turned out pretty well for our lighting, but I wish they would have told us they were going to build this out. Because now my light over here is completely, well, it's not too bad. I would have put one more light up here if I had known they were going to build this massive little pantry. Other thing is the stone wall right here. You have to have that spark ring show. They're going to have to find some way to put mud around that. There's nothing more we can do on that. Under cabinet light switch right here. There's going to be a dishwasher, a disposal. They specifically told me no disposal. I wired an outlet anyways. Guess what? I don't have a switch. If that happens, not a problem. You're going to have to drill for a pressure switch right here. It's about 1.25 inch hole to 1 inch. Pop it in, put your disposal into it, and the little pressure is an air pressure that turns it on and off. So the other thing on these fans, you do have to have 2 separate switches. Okay? It would be wise in case they don't want them both on. Again, I think Minka Air is the best way to go. As far as the lighting goes, if you're coming out of a bedroom, you're going to have to not take more than 1 step to be able to turn on a light. So we did this light right here, and we dimmed them. These are these 6-inch LEDs. They work very well. Over here, I have a switch. Now for under the stairway, we have a switch underneath there for here, but they had told us that they were going to build out a cubby hole for the kiddos. And we put that switch there in case they were going in that way. That changed too. Okay. Now right here, This is for our stair lights. We put those in before we had the drywall put up. If they wanted to, we could have put another one, and then a three-way, we could do a wireless switch going up. Now in here, we decided to do this change too. They told me they were doing 3 shelves, decided not to. So I went ahead and redid that wire up there for the low voltage, because they're gonna put a low voltage stream around that. Now this right here, this is our strip light for the wet bar. And I left them 1 extra LED strip here. And I did put a plug in here in case they want to do a humidistat. Which if they wanted it up high, I should have done a plug up high if they had told me. I don't know. A lot of things have changed on this as I've gone. The barn door was not supposed to cover the outlet. The barn door was not supposed to be that large. It was supposed to stop here. We measured it. Evidently, they have a bigger barn door. That changed too. Otherwise, I would have had to have an outlet right over here because there was nothing here because of the jetted tub. Now the jetted tub changed too. They were supposed to give me an access hole. They did not. So I had to put my outlet, and luckily I didn't nail it too tight, and I put it underneath there. Jetted tubs do have to have a dedicated circuit for a heater and a jet. If it doesn't have a heater, you still have to have a dedicated circuit for the little bubbles. This is a really nice heater. They had to build this wall out with a 2x6 to get it to fit. And they decided to put a mantle, but here's my disconnect. I brought in a 12-4 wire, hit the 2 outlets for required here, plus this is a 120 volt heater, and it turns on. Pretty nice little heater. These aren't too bad, but they like to rattle a little bit. It's no different than an evap fan that you're gonna do inside of, that you have inside of your refrigerator. Very nice shower, that turned out great. Exhaust fan has to be no closer than 3 foot to the edge of a shower. These are rated in a shower. This behind you that you're looking at, this by far was the biggest mirror I've ever hung and the hardest mirror I've ever worked on. Now by code, you cannot turn on a mirror and walk over to turn it on. You have to have a light somewhere to give you illumination as you walk in. Because not all bathrooms are this shallow. Some are really long. Okay, these pendants here, this right here is for this light. They wanted more light. This is for these pendants here. They don't put out hardly any light. This was really interesting. This was all soffit with HVAC. So we had to measure off and know with our laser if that was going to be right, and then know that the counter was what they wanted, and know that this is turning out fairly close to center here to the faucet. That can change color. But yeah, you cannot walk in to hit that button to turn it on. You have to have some sense of light by code, even in a small bathroom. So that's why we put this guy in here for them and these guys separate. So they have like literally 5 switch legs in this place for this bathroom. Most bathrooms nowadays that are masters have so much detail. You wouldn't even think they're that big of a deal when they call it a remodel. They're like, oh, we're not doing much. Just a jetted tub and a glass glowing mirror and some pendants and a couple other NOR lights. And oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, we have an exhaust heater fan light combo kit. And if you do a heater in the ceiling, those are dedicated circuits at 120 volt 12 gauge as well. Plus your jetted tub. And your 2 outlets out here that have to serve dedicated for 20 amp. You could have like 5 circuits in a bathroom right there. Not including all the openings. How many openings? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I had to wire that 9. This counted as twice because it was so the 10, 11, 12. That was 13, 14. There's 2 makeups in there, 15. Plus I also had to do a bidet outlet. Don't forget, you should do your bidet outlet. That's 16 openings in this little bathroom. That's a pretty big deal. It's like a kitchenette. All right, guys, moving on. This is a very cool bathroom. It turned out perfect. The homeowner was excited. This is our bedroom right here. Mind you, these soffits were already built down. Actually, it was all drywall because of code when they bought the house, but then they built down the soffits, and I put lights in these soffits, and I dimmed them. Okay, mind you that the TV outlets up high are not part of code. Those are just if you want it. They didn't know where they wanted to put the TV, and they wanted one here and there. Well, the door makes no sense to have a TV get hit. So that's why I suggested just here for a big screen. But that's up to them. We did an extra one for them and they paid for it. Now, if you have a bigger closet, it's not code, but I sure would put a light in there. It sure helps when you're in a basement. These trims right here are great for that purpose. Okay. They're closet rated, they're wet rated, they're outdoor damp rated, and they're rated for just any shallow area underneath a stairway or crawl space. So as you can see how this turned out, this was a very detailed basement. A lot of circuits. I'll show you the panel right here. We did set a sub panel for it, and we did draw down, 100 amp to the basement and set a hot tub disconnect right outside that wall. So that's another thing people make a mistake on. You gotta have 100 amp. So this is our makeup of our panel. I do put a surge protector in here because you don't have to, but the inspectors like it, and I prefer to have a surge somewhere in the house with these older homes. Okay. So that's all labeled very well. This is everything that we drilled. We drilled all these parallel runs because the ceiling we couldn't get through. So all of that came through in order to go into there and then travel and drop off as we went. And then the kitchen circuits went this way and underneath here to get to our kitchenette. Here's our stair light right there. This is not going to be finished. If they did, they need to build a soffit anyways because of that I-beam. All right, guys, so yeah, that's how it all turned out. This was definitely about 11 months on this job. It took them a while to get everything trimmed out and find the right guys. The floor was a marble finish. Regardless if it has carpet or not, you still have to AFCI, GFCI your basement. So yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. If you have any questions or need an estimate, give us a call. And if you're trying to do your own basement, please don't call us and ask for an estimate and try to pick our brain because you're going to do the work. We do ask you up front right away that if you guys are going to do the work, we don't come out and consult for free if you're going to do that. You know, YouTube is not an academy. It is definitely there to help people so they can design and think about those things. But it's not something we drive around for free and get paid so we can give you ideas to do your work. Bottom line, if we do the work, we tend to typically 100% of the time like to just do it all ourselves. But if you say, hey, I'd like you just to make up the panel and we did all the monkey work, that doesn't work for us. If we're energizing your work and we don't know how all this splicing went, that's where the problems start. You'll just end up saying there's a warranty call, or worse, there's a fire. So we prefer to do it all ourselves. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining us. Have a great day.